I was robbed by these three black women. Anybody can be a thief, but just they happen to be a black woman. I was trying to catch and call the police, and these people on the street, the bystanders of white people, they're calling me I'm a racist, telling me that the color of skin doesn't make them a thief.
There you've got North Korean human rights activist and defector Yeonmi Park revealing she was beaten and robbed in Chicago last year and being accused of being a racist.
Well, Park claims woke bystanders witnessing the attack did nothing to help her and even labeled her a racist for attempting to call the police.
Here to react, Fox and Friends weekend co-host Pete Hegseth and Will Kane. What a fascinating life she's had, what a hard life she's had. You'd think she came here, guys, and everything would be, blue skies. But Pete, it wasn't like that. And she told Joe Rogan that over the course of 3 hours.
Yeah, an amazing interview. She said, how is it that immutable characteristics, the color of your skin, something you can't change, is what would define who you are in this country? She also goes to Columbia University and said not even North Korea is as nuts as the Ivy League when it comes to safe spaces and wokeness. And the scary part is, in about a month, guys, I have a 5-part series coming out on Fox Nation called The Miseducation of America. It's about the 100-year progressive takeover of our classrooms. The same ideology that took over North Korea, the Marxist communist ideology, is what motivated the changes in our own classrooms. What we're seeing today at Columbia, in people pointing at someone and saying you're racist for saying you're being robbed, is a dividing of people based on oppressor and oppressed versus, in some places it was class, here it's race. They've done it effectively in the classroom, and now it's infected the minds of average people who see someone getting robbed, and the normal instinct is, I don't know, jump in and help. But instead, they point racism.
No kidding. And Will, the irony is she essentially is saying she was safer in the streets of North Korea than she was on the streets of Chicago, Illinois.
Well, I think she was disappointed, Steve, in what she experienced there. More than disappointed, I think she was stricken by what she saw on the streets of Chicago. But I don't know, I'll say this, Steve, I don't know that she felt safer on the streets of North Korea, because what she describes is the end result of a society that, as Pete points out, starting with in academics, it divorces itself from history. And then it starts relying on the word of the great leader, the proclamation, bureaucrats, as the truth. And what she saw in North Korea was pretty dang striking as the end result of that process. She saw people dying from starvation. I mean, the stories she paints, the picture she paints of her mother going out, her not knowing if her mother would ever come back, watching people eat rats, cooked and uncooked, after rats were then feeding on the dead bodies of human beings. She describes a scene of a teenage boy walking around with his insides falling out behind him and dogs trailing him because they saw him as the next meal. The point I'm getting at is not to ruin anyone's breakfast, but, you know, we take this so for granted. We take this society built on Enlightenment values, Western civilization, for granted as though it's a permanent condition. It's not. And in North Korea, someone's explaining to you the life they've lived that shows you the end path, the end result of this irrationality that we have begun to embark upon.
Oh, what a journey she's had. She was sold into slavery, she and her mom, and then ended up here in America, Columbia University, and now this happens to her. Pete, what's coming up on your show this weekend?
Well, in addition to Will Kane, of course, we have Nancy Mace.
Well, Pete wants us to refer to it as his show, so we fell into that trap.
Don't turn into Brian.
Will was out for 1 weekend, so I didn't know what to do. I used Pete and Fred. But we'll go back. Mike Huckabee, Jason Chapin, Stan Bongino, and of course my friend Will.
All right, Pete, Will, we'll be watching for you on the couch with Rachel this weekend. Thank you very much.
Rachel's actually going to take some time off because she filled in for me last week. She worked like 2 weekends in a row and a week in between. So
I think Ashley Strohmeyer
Ashley Strohmeyer's going to fill in.
That's right. There you go. Looking forward to it.
All right, guys. See you soon.
Thanks, guys. We'll be watching.
See.
All right.